What is going on, guys? Runa here, and today I'm coming at you guys with a brand new YouTube video. Today we're going to be reviewing some headphones, which is not my normal video, even though I don't really upload, so I don't know why I'm saying that, but yeah, let's just get into it. So the three headphones we're reviewing are some Beyerdynamic headphones. I will be comparing two of them together and stating whether or not I think it is worth the upgrade from one to another. And but overall, I'll just be kind of doing my review and my experience with each headphone. Let's get into it. So the headphones we have here today are the DT1990 Pros. So amazing looking headphones. The DT990 Pros. These are the 250 ohm. Also some pretty good looking headphones. And the 770 Pros. So yeah, we'll start off with the 990s first. So I'll go ahead and talk about the price on these things. These will cost you about 140 to 180 US dollars. They do come in two different colorways. They have one with this gray version where everything's like, you got the gray grill, the gray velour pads and whatnot. But they do have a black version. So yeah. And they have two different impedance levels on these that I know of. If you don't know what impedance means, that is how much power is required to drive a headphone. And they do have different things for different impedances besides sound. Like the 250 ohm, you have a coiled cable, whereas anything below 250 does not. But yeah, they have 250 ohm and 80 ohm for the 990s. So yeah. And I guess we'll go ahead and jump into the build quality now. The build quality in these things, they're pretty good for $150. The Germans made them, so it's not going to be bad quality at all. I don't really have anything bad to say about the quality, besides the fact this is a non-detachable cable. Since it is non-detachable, if you have like a dog or something that chews on this cable and, it's destroyed, you either have to, solder a new one on there, send it in to get replaced, or buy a whole new pair of headphones. So if this breaks, that will be a problem. So if you do get these, or you already have them, take care of the cable. And, the last thing about build quality in these things is, besides the cable, almost everything on this headphone is pretty easy to replace. You can replace the headband, you can replace the ear pads pretty easily. So yeah, that is pretty good. That does go for most Beyerdynamic headphones, from what I know. So yeah. In terms of the sound on these things, out of all the headphones I've tried, this is probably the best sound you will get for under $200. From what I've heard, these do have a bit of a treble peak, and some people do not like the highs on these headphones. Personally, I do not mind them. I don't really have any problem with these headphones. So yeah, obviously it comes down to what you like in terms of sound. Obviously some people, they like different types of sound. Some people might like a warmer sound or a brighter sound. It just depends on what you like. So yeah. And in terms of the comfort on these things, they're extremely comfortable. You have this really nice, squishy headband, and you get the nice squishy velour pads. These things are not uncomfortable by any means. Depending on your head shape, though, they might be a little bit uncomfortable when you first get them, due to the clamping force can be kind of strong. So yeah, I did have that problem. It only lasted like a week or two, and then I started to get more comfortable. So yeah, these are the most comfortable headphones I've ever worn. So yeah, I'll give them that. If I had to give like a bit of a rating out of these things, I would definitely give these things like an 8 or 9 out of 10. The only thing that takes away from that rating is the fact this is a non-detachable cable. That is really the biggest thing about this headphone that I do not like. So yeah. But we will now move over to the 770s. Now, the main difference between these and the 990s is the fact these are closed back. If you don't know the difference, closed back gives some sound isolation, whereas open back does not. Open back, the sound leaks out and you hear what's going on around you more. Whereas with these, you have complete sound isolation and there's not much sound leakage coming from these. So yeah. But in terms of price, they're like the same as the 990s, 140 to 180. Depends on the colorway. I think these have a black colorway. I'm not 100% sure though. So yeah. And they do have different impedances for these as well. They have 16 ohm, 32 ohm, 80, and 250. So you do have a lot more options when it comes to the 770s as opposed to the 990s. Which can be useful if you don't want to spend the money to like buy an amp or something like that, because if you get 80 ohm or 250 ohm, you will need some sort of DAC or something like that. So yeah. But yeah, I do know that the 32 ohms does come with leather pads as opposed to velour. I don't know why that is, but that is something to note. But I guess we'll jump into the build quality of these things. The build quality it's about the same as the 990s. You know, they're pretty good build quality. These do have a little bit more flex than my 990s though, but it doesn't make me think these are like, going to break on me or anything like that. They still feel really good. But yeah, I don't know if that's like a thing for this specific pair or what. So yeah. And obviously these still do have a non-detachable cable, so that is still a problem. In terms of sound, these sound, really good for under $200. These do sound a bit different than the 990s because these are closed back, like I said. 990s have more of an airier sound, whereas these do not. So yeah. Personally, I would say go with the 990s over the 770s. Because the 990s are open back, and that's just kind of better from what I know. So yeah, obviously the 770s are really good if you need sound isolation, but yeah. In terms of comfort, they're just as comfortable as the 990s. The pads are a little bit more stiff though on these compared to the 990s. I assume that's just to keep sound in. Pads are a little bit different, but they're still extremely comfortable, so it doesn't really detract from comfort or anything like that. And in terms of a 1 out of 10 rating, I would still do like an 8 or 9 out of 10. The main thing being the cable. That is really the only problem with these headphones. So yeah. We will now move over to the 1990 Pros. I just want to say, like, these things, they look beautiful. Like, they have that laser etched shit. It just looks amazing. But in terms of the price, these things will cost you a hefty $500 to $600. They only have one impedance, which is 250 ohms, so you do need some sort of DAC or amp to power these, and they only have one colorway. So yeah. Luckily, I got lucky and did not pay that price for these. I got a really good deal, which is the only reason why I have them. So yeah. I guess we'll just go ahead and jump into build quality. The build quality of these things, they're perfect. These things are complete metal in like high quality plastic compared to the 990s. They are definitely heavier. So, yeah, I mean, they pretty much fixed all the problems like the 990s and, in the 1990s. Like, this is a detachable cable. It comes with two cables. You have a coiled cable and a straight cable, so that's nice. There isn't really anything bad about the build quality of these things. I mean, these things, like the cups, like this, they're kind of stiff, but I'm sure you can, like, loosen that up a little bit with, like, these screws, maybe. But, yeah. These things feel really tough. I feel like I can actually like throw these or sit on them and there won't be anything wrong with them. These things, they feel like quality. You definitely get what you pay for in terms of build quality in these things. I will definitely say that. Gosh, man, the fucking leather stitching is just amazing. Like, holy shit. But in terms of the sound quality, it's way better on these than the 990s, obviously. With the huge price jump, it's obvious that it's going to be better. These just sound so much more clear. There's a wider sound stage. It seems like there's so much more clarity. When you listen to these and then you go to the 990s, it makes the 990s sound muffled, which is crazy to say about a studio headphone. So, it just kind of shows that these sound so much better. I definitely think that it is worth the price. And for the price point, from what I have heard and seen and whatnot, these are definitely some of the best sounding headphones that you can get for that, $500 to $600 range. And in terms of comfort, like I said, these things are heavier, but surprisingly, it does not really detract from the comfort of them. They are still extremely comfortable. These do have a much tighter clamping force at first, as opposed to the 990s. So depending on your head, this might affect you or it may not. Personally, for me, it did. It did seem to go away pretty quickly. It's definitely not as bad as it was when I first got them. And every day they seem to get more and more comfortable. And yeah, if I had to give a rating for these things, I would give them a 10 out of 10. There isn't really anything wrong with these. The build quality is pretty much perfect. I don't see anything wrong with it, and I don't think there will be anything wrong with it. So yeah, and the sound is really good. It's definitely some of the best sound that you can get for the price point. So, yeah. And obviously, build quality. These things are replaceable. You can replace any of this stuff. So, yeah. But in terms of comparing them to the 990s, like I said, these things make these sound muffled. So, yeah, and personally, I do think that it is worth the upgrade. If you have the money laying around and you're willing to spend that much money on these headphones, then I would do it. I think that it's totally worth it. Obviously, you want to make sure you have a good DAC or amp to power these things, so you get the most out of the sound. But I definitely think that it is worth the upgrade. And it's not to say these things are bad or anything, or the 770s. They're all good headphones. Obviously, not everyone's willing to spend this much money on these headphones. So, yeah. But either way, all three of these headphones are extremely amazing, and I would recommend either one of them. So yeah. One thing is I will have a more of like an update video slash another comparison video between these and these later down the line, just to see how these held up and how these are holding up. So I will do another comparison video, probably 6 months to a year from now, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, that will be a video. So yeah, not really much else to say. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Peace.